In the shadow of Chicago's glittering skylines lies Gary, Indiana, a city where the American dream came to die. Once the steel capital of the world, now a graveyard of abandoned factories and hollow houses. But in 2011, one address would become infamous for something far darker than urban decay. 3860 Carolina Street, a forgettable rental house on a quiet block. What happened inside would challenge everything we think we know about reality itself. Gary, Indiana was born in 1906 as U.S. Steel's utopian vision, a company town where workers would prosper alongside industry. By 2011, that dream had rotted from within. The mills had closed. Over 100,000 jobs had vanished. The population had collapsed from 178,000 to just 80,000. What remained was a wasteland of boarded windows and empty lots. America's murder capital multiple times over. A place where something hungry seemed to feed on despair itself. Into this dying city moved Latoya Ammons, 32, seeking a fresh start for her three children and her mother, Rosa Campbell. The house on Carolina Street seemed like a blessing. Affordable rent, quiet street, close to work. They had no way of knowing they were walking into America's most documented case of demonic possession. In December of 2011, it started with flies. Not the occasional pest, but swarms, appearing overnight in the dead of winter, coating windows and walls before vanishing without explanation. Then the sounds, footsteps in empty basements, doors slamming in vacant rooms, something pacing the stairs at 3 a.m. Rosa Campbell noticed first, a devout Christian woman not given to superstition. She knew something was wrong. The children began waking up screaming, shadowy figures in their rooms, invisible hands touching them in the dark. The youngest boy held conversations with someone only he could see. By January 2012, the haunting had evolved into something far more sinister. The children would slip into trance states, their voices dropping to guttural adult tones. They spoke languages they'd never learned, recited biblical passages they'd never heard. The 9-year-old body would contort during violent seizures, his voice becoming something Rosa could only describe as demonic. The 7-year-old would stare blankly for hours, completely unresponsive, then snap back with no memory of the lost time. Latoya Ammons was practical. Her first instinct was medical help, not spiritual intervention, but at Methodist Hospital in Gary, doctors found something that shattered their understanding of pediatric medicine. Blood tests came back normal. Brain scans showed nothing. Psychological evaluations revealed no trauma indicators, yet the medical staff witnessed events that defied explanation. According to official Department of Child Safety reports, hospital personnel watched Latoya's youngest son fly through the air and strike a wall without being touched. They documented him walking backward up a wall to the ceiling before flipping to the floor, all while being observed by trained medical professionals and social workers. Dr. Jeffrey Onyekwu, the attending physician, told nurses the boy was spiritually possessed. Hospital staff began calling them the demon children. Nurses refused to be alone with the family. Several requested transfers. These weren't hysteric civilians. These were medical professionals documenting the impossible. They've seen it all until now. When the children defy the law of physics, authorities began to take notice. The Department of Child Services launched an investigation, initially suspecting abuse. Instead, they found something that challenged every protocol in their training. DCS family case manager Valerie Washington documented children entering trance states, speaking in voices not of their own, displaying impossible knowledge, stuff that the doctors and nurses saw at the hospital. She witnessed the walking on walls incident that she struggled to put into words in official reports. The police captain, Charles Austin, he was 37 years of Gary Street experience, hardened by the worst humanity had to offer, became convinced something supernatural was stalking the Ammons family. Officers reported malfunctioning equipment, electronic disturbances, and an oppressive atmosphere that made veteran cops request different assignments whenever they were around these kids. Then came The Exorcist. In April 2012, when medicine and law enforcement fail, faith becomes the final option. Of course, why wouldn't it? Reverend Michael Maginot of St. Stephen Martyr Catholic Church agreed to evaluate the family. What he found convinced him he was facing genuine demonic possession. Father Maginot's initial blessing rituals only seemed to enrage whatever inhabited the house. The activity escalated, objects moving independently, voices echoing, the whole nine. The children's conditions were just worsening dramatically. And after multiple sessions, Father Maginot made a chilling declaration. The house wasn't just haunted, it was a portal to demons, a portal to hell. He advised immediate evacuation. So, in May 2012, the family fled to 3860 Carolina Street forever. News of the case attracted national attention. The official documentation painted a picture of systemic, supernatural assault. Medical records, police reports, court documents, all corroborating the family's claims. Yet, skeptics proposed rational explanations. Mass hysteria, environmental toxins. Could it have been mold within the house? Psychological trauma, the power of suggestion. In a city with Gary's history of industrial pollution, could toxic exposure explain the neurological symptoms? Their questions multiplied, but the answers remained elusive. In 2014, paranormal investigator Zach Bagans purchased the house for only $35,000, hoping to unlock its secrets. His Ghost Adventures crew experienced the same phenomena the Ammons family described: equipment failures, disembodied voices, physical attacks by unseen entities. But Bagans' investigation took a disturbing turn when he claimed to experience possession himself. Overwhelming rage and hatred accompanied by physical symptoms he'd never experienced. His conclusion shocked the paranormal community. The house was too dangerous to exist. So, in January 2016, 3860 Carolina Street was demolished. The debris was buried in an undisclosed landfill. The Ammons family's nightmare ended when they left Carolina Street. The children's symptoms vanished, their health returned, normal life resumed, but the case left permanent marks on everyone involved. Police officers questioned their understanding of reality. Medical professionals grappled with events that defied their training. Father Maginot continues to speak about the experience as proof of spiritual warfare in the modern world. The case actually became the basis for Netflix's film The Deliverance, bringing the story to millions more viewers. For Gary, Indiana, it added another dark chapter to an already troubled legacy. The house is now gone, but the questions remain. In our age of scientific rationalism, the Ammons case presents documented evidence of phenomena that challenged our understanding of what is possible. Was it genuine supernatural activity? Was it mass psychological suggestion? Environmental contamination? Could have been the toxins, elaborate deceptions. The documentation is unprecedented, with official reports from multiple agencies, medical records, sworn testimonies. Like I said before, these are all coming from credible professionals. Yet, extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. And witness testimony, however credible it is, isn't scientific proof. Perhaps the real lesson lies not in proving or disproving the supernatural, but in recognizing the very human forces that prey on vulnerable families: poverty, instability, trauma. Whether the evil we face comes from demons or dysfunction, our responsibility remains the same: protect the vulnerable and support those in crisis. The house at 3860 Carolina Street has been erased from the earth, its rubble buried in an unmarked grave, but the questions it raised about the nature of reality itself refuse to stay buried. Whether you believe in demons or not, the Ammons case reminds us that there are still mysteries in our world that resist easy explanation. And sometimes, the most frightening truth is that we may never know which nightmares are real. I'm Jorge, and this is Jorge's House of Horrors.